I'm Tine.
And hey, I'm Ileka Follett. We are business owners and moms with corporate backgrounds, and we are all about getting Black women paid in both corporate and business.
And you're listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast.
Let's go. Hey, hello everybody. So today's episode, we're going to get right into it. We're talking about working smarter, not harder, right? So these are time-saving tips for entrepreneurs in your business and in your life. Because you know what? So this is Ileka talking, just in case y'all don't know our voices yet. But you know what? I was thinking about as I started my business, right? I've been in corporate for 20 some odd years. And in starting my business, I was like, okay, let me go all in, right? I'm gonna spend 12 hours a day on my business. I got to go, make this thing happen. And what ended up happening was I felt like I was just constantly spinning my wheels and nothing was getting done. And it felt like, I mean, things were getting done, but not as fast as I wanted, right? Not as efficiently. So we want to give some entrepreneurs tips on how to like make more time in their lives because whether you're just starting or you've been doing this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? You still may find yourself constantly, like working these 10 and 12-hour days, especially during these rush seasons or these heavy seasons, right?
Absolutely.
Um, right. Because I mean, you hear that a lot with entrepreneurs that you work with too, where they'll be like, oh, well, this is the heavy season. So, I got
Right.
no time for anything.
My
Right.
my mom was talking about someone who says, "Well, this is my busy year."
Yeah,
It's like, okay, wait.
the entire
Like,
year.
oh no, I can't. It's my busy year. Like, no. Let's not live that life.
Right.
So I'm so excited about this topic because I resonate with this completely. Even just today we were going to do some recording into the evening, and I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, and I want to see my kids tonight. And so we figured out, hey, let's reschedule, let's do this during the day. And so I'm very excited about some tips for striking that
Mhm.
balance, and in, again, as you said, both in your business and in your personal life.
Exactly, because the thing is, I think what happens is when we have a business, we don't tend to we've set boundaries, right? I'm putting quotes on this. We set boundaries, but we haven't lived into the boundaries that we set, right? I remember for years I had created all these boundaries, like essentially they were in my head because I was not doing them, right? Like I was like, I'm gonna stop working at 5 o'clock and then I'm gonna go out and, cook dinner, help the kids with this homework and do this and do that, and then if I have to come back in the late in the evening after they've gone to bed, I can get some more work done.
Yeah.
And at first, for like a good week and a half, I had that down, right?
That was a good week.
Right. So after those 9 days,
Yep.
it was over. Now I was back to like working straight through. And now I'm coming out of the office at 7 o'clock and trying to like, what are we gonna do for dinner? Let's order a pizza or let's just get whatever
Right.
because it felt like I didn't have any time.
Yeah,
Right.
and you're the only one in that scenario, you're the only one enforcing those boundaries or not enforcing them, right? And so
Mhm.
it's you're only answering to yourself, and sometimes
Exactly.
it's very easy to make that exception. "Oh, well,
Mhm.
let me just finish this thing,
Yeah.
even though it's 5:03, let me just get this
Mm,
thing done this
just
one
one
time."
email. Right. Finish
Right?
this last email, right? Or
Yeah,
finish this last part of this program, or
yeah,
you're
how
writing
many
a book. I'm just
times
gonna finish this chapter.
yeah.
Right.
How many times I'll tell my daughter, "Okay, I can come play with you after I finish this email," and then she'll come in like 20 minutes later and be like, "Are you done with that email?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've been doing 3 other things,
Yes,
and I
right.
forgot I even told her I was coming."
And that's what we do. So it's like, and we have another episode we talked about like how, creating boundaries in our lives, especially as parents and stuff. But let's look at like just some ways that we can really, really step it up. The way I always looked at it as if I create systems and automation in my life, and start doing some of this stuff in my life, then it'll give me some free time to focus on my business when I'm in my business time, right?
Mm.
So I've set specific boundaries for myself. I actually start work around 11 a.m., right? That's when I start doing like calls and all that stuff. And I finish them around 4. That's most almost every day of the week. And I have one day that I work a little later. And those are the boundaries that I've actually created and live into now, right? Before I created them, I wasn't living into them. Now I actually live into them.
Let's pause for one moment. So you just said 11 to 4.
Yeah.
So for folks who are doing the math at home, we're talking about 5 hours a day, so that's a 25-hour work week, except for that one day you
Well,
work a little later, you said.
yeah. And I also don't work on Fridays. So it's
Oh, hey, okay, so we're talking 20, maybe 21, 22, depending on that longer
right.
day. I love
Exactly.
this. Okay, I just wanna repeat it for the folks at home. You have
Yep.
designed your business
Around my life.
around your life, and
Yes.
you're working around 20 to 22 hours a week.
Yeah. And doing that by setting boundaries, but then so you can set the boundaries. We can all think, "Oh, I'm gonna set these boundaries." And then let's say we're just working these 5 or these 20 hours a week, but then we're not progressing. Things aren't getting done. And now it's like, shoot, I gotta work longer because I've got to get these things done. I've got goals to hit, right?
Right.
So what I do is I always like to look at what can I do to get my time back. So one thing I don't talk about as often as I probably should is I have a whole history and background in productivity and process improvement, right? So I'm all about productivity hacks. I had a stream of income stream that I built out where I was teaching people how to work less, make more, and live better, right? So that's it's what I do. Um, so it's something I'm really, really passionate about is living our lives, right? And versus like what do we see? Live to work versus working to live, right? Or we tend to live to work when we should be working to live versus living to
Right.
live, right? We should be working so we have more time to like grow and do the things that we want
Mhm.
to do. So two things that I want to talk to um, for bringing our time back is one is outsourcing. We've all heard it, right? We talk about it in business all the time, but I'm going to talk about it a little differently today. And then the second things is systems and automations, right? So,
Ready. Bring it, bring it.
so first, let's lean into the systems and automations, right? Because in my opinion, you've got to have the systems and automations set up before you can start outsourcing. And the
Mm,
reason is so when I was in corporate, I was at a Fortune 100 company, and when I started off with my background in industrial engineering, what I started off doing was like a lot of process improvement. So process maps, looking at let's say an HR organization and saying, okay, what is your process for you know um, benefits for whatever, like onboarding for benefits, and then going through all the different stages that they have to go through and seeing what that process looks like.
mhm.
Most companies and most people will put the system in place first and then try and create the process around that new system that they're implementing.
Yep.
What we would always teach is create the process and then find the system that works into your process because first you optimize the process and then you bring the system in, right? So you can look at that. Let's look at it in life, right? So let's talk about something like I'm going to give something a really simple example, like uh, what was the cleaning the house, right?
Okay.
So you can create a system where every Tuesday, you know, you vacuum the entire house at 10 a.m. You do all the vacuuming at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday you do all the bathrooms at 10 a.m. Right, and then on Thursday maybe you're changing the sheets and doing the laundry or something at 10 a.m.
Mhm.
Right, that can be your system where each day on these days that can be your process. Each day on these days, this is what you do. And so as you get going, you're creating mini system or mini processes within each of those to
Sure.
get them done, right? So maybe let's talk about vacuuming. Maybe you decide that, okay, I am going to vacuum since the vacuum cleaner's upstairs, what I will do is I will vacuum the stairs first on my way down the stairs, and
Mm,
then I'll vacuum then I'll vacuum the entire
right.
downstairs, right? And then I'll bring the vacuum upstairs and vacuum the upstairs and then leave the vacuum in there
Mm,
in the, laundry room upstairs or something, right? You've decided this is the process that works the best for you. Now, you've been doing this for a while and you're realizing, okay, it takes me an hour and a half to do this. This is something that that works really well, but I could be using that hour and a half somewhere else.
mm.
What kind of automation can I set up? Or what outsourcing can I set up to
Not
bring it
picturing
in?
one of those little Roombas.
Right, exactly. Automation gets to be the Roomba. Maybe instead of you doing it at 10 a.m. every day, maybe you have a Roomba that is downstairs at 10 a.m. You have turn on vacuum all of downstairs. Now you come out of the office at 11 and you bring it upstairs and you let it vacuum upstairs while you're back doing your work. Now
Mm,
you've created a system that goes
yeah,
and automates the system that you had created,
yeah.
the process that you created,
Well, you
right?
still gotta do the stairs. Don't be sending that thing down the
Right. Roomba's not gonna get there. Roomba's not gonna get there. But it's like you've created something
Mm,
that works and it gave you some time back. So instead of you vacuuming your entire house every Tuesday at 10 a.m., taking an hour and a half, now you've got an hour and a half back that you can maybe it's just an hour back. No, no one takes 30 minutes to do the stairs. Maybe so maybe instead of having maybe you have, you know, an hour and 15 minutes back because you still have to vacuum the stairs and you could be using that for a walk outside, to clear your head. You could
mm.
be using that to meditate. You could be using it to prepare dinner. You could be using it to get more work done in your business, right?
I love that getting more work done in your business was not the first option. Right,
Right.
right, that you could also be using that time to,
Yes.
reset and
Mhm.
take care of yourself mentally and physically, and
Exactly.
then when you do get back to work, you're that much better
Mhm.
able to focus or, to spend that time better. I love
Yep.
that.
Exactly. And that is where you're bringing your time back, right? That's where you're working smarter and not harder because you created a system and you automated that system. That's at
Mm.
home. Now imagine how you do that in your business, right? Like we all have heard of, funnels and email marketing and things like that. Do you think that when Old Navy sends me an email 5 times a day, which they do,
I was
that
just talking to my spouse about, like, what store do I need to hear from more than once a day? Come on,
right, you have an Old Navy.
apparently.
But when Old Navy sends me an email 5 times a day, do you think the CEO of Old Navy is back there just here with it? Right?
Typing up an email. It's like what they spend all day, every day just typing up.
Exactly, and saying, "Oh, she opened this email, so she's gonna wanna see this one next." No, he does not care because what happened was not he went through, but his team has gone through and created a full email process, right? He's gone through and said, "This person, Teen likes to see emails at 12 PM, so we're gonna ensure that she's getting them at this time." Or Teen wants to see emails about she tends to buy her kids' clothes at Old Navy. So whenever we have kids stuff come out, we're gonna send them to Teen, right? Whenever we have a sale for kids, Teen's gonna get this, right? Oh, Ileka buys all of her leggings, whether it be for work for business trips or for working out. All she wears is leggings all the time.
Right,
So whenever we have a sale on activewear, we're sending that right to Ileka,
right.
right?
Or, you were in your cart. I saw you put this in your cart and then you didn't
Mhm.
buy it. Hey, we're gonna send a reminder email, right? All of those things are
Exactly.
automations.
Exactly. So these automations are possible, right? But they had to understand the system that was needed first, the process. They had to understand that, okay, when someone comes onto our website, what is this person looking for? Okay, we have this big sale, so we want to make sure this goes at the top, right? So they set up the website in a way that works. Then when they click on this, up it triggers
Yeah,
our system to now send them an email about this. It tags them and tallies how often they're going to want to see this type of information. And this is really important to your business because now that you understand the process, right? And maybe for your business, let's look at you as social media manager, right? Versus, Old Navy. But let's
Right.
you're a social media manager and you're looking to bring in more clients into your business. And maybe you have a coaching program showing folks how to amp up their social media and stand out in the audience or in the crowd or something like that, right? So you could literally go have a system set up. I know I have a system that we've set up in a tool called Lisa Funnel Pro, right? And Lisa Funnel Pro is like it's an all-in-one system, but we come with some strategy and things like that. So there's templates and things.
Yep.
I'll have my team go to the templates and set up like literally my entire funnel. But what's important is it's looking at, okay, this person, Susie came onto my system. She wants to understand, you know, how to bring more revenue into her business because she wants to be the in-demand person in her industry. And by doing that, she gets to bring more revenue in.
Yep.
So when Susie comes to my website, she's gonna get the website as well as a video from me saying, "Hey, Susie, it's Ileka." Well, it's probably gonna say, "Hey, Susie," but it's gonna say,
On the video.
right. It's gonna say, "Hey, this is Ileka. I know you're looking to be the in-demand person in your industry.
Yeah.
Here's how I show you how to do these things. Here's what you're going through right now." And it's gonna be a quick chat, right?
And
Now
you all have seen this stuff even, if you join a Facebook group and they got those questions at the beginning and they're like, "What do you need the most help with?" It's
Mhm.
A, B, C, or
Exactly.
all of the above. And then you click that and you get an email, right? That's like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I heard you want help with this. Here's my resource." Absolutely. You all have seen this
Exactly.
in play. So we want to be able to take advantage of it for our own businesses as well.
Exactly, and you wanna be able to do it so it's automated because
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a time I know there was a time when I was in my business where somebody would sign up for my Facebook group, and I would get their email address, copy it, paste it onto an email, and send them an email with
Yep.
whatever freebie, right?
Yep.
Now, when they go and they sign up for my Facebook group and they say, "Hey, here's my email because I want this reclaim your time freebie," what I'll do is my team goes in and they download everyone who's applied to join the Facebook group today. They go through, they download it, and then they put them in an automation. And in this automation, it's going to send them the freebie. It's gonna send them maybe some questions and some additional tips and tricks on how to reclaim their time. It's gonna be giving them things along the way so that I don't have to sit there sending these emails out.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what my Lisa Funnel Pro, that's the system that I use. That's what it has.
Mhm.
But there's so many opportunities out there to automate in this way, and I think that's what we're not leaning into. Like, how do you set up the system? How do you ensure that this client's customer journey, right, is going to be, ideal?
Right.
And how do I do that and still be on the beach?
And
You
and even for
know?
those of you yes, and even for those of you who are thinking, "Oh my gosh, I don't have a team, so it would be
Mhm.
me going in there are tools to automate that part too. There are tools you can do to connect your Facebook to your email pipelines or
Exactly.
whatever, and it'll just say, "They answered this, just tag 'em."
Mhm. Yep.
I mean, there are all kinds of different levels for automation, whether you have a team under you or not.
Mhm. It's so true because one of my clients, she has something called, I think it's Group Collector or something like that, and it connects. She has Lisa Funnel Pro as well. It connects Group Collector connects to Lisa Funnel Pro, so now it automatically puts that person's information in the CRM and
Yeah.
tags them as such, and then sends them the
Mhm.
emails as
Those systems will even do, "Okay, now they commented this on my post, send them the
Mhm.
DM about this," right? Oh, girl, science, technology, use it.
Exactly. Get your time back because that's
Yeah,
the thing, right? You're out here trying to do all these things, trying to keep up. Like so and so is always DMing so fast. No, she's not. You know,
right.
likelihood is she's got a system that's DMing for her
Mhm.
and she's stepping in where needed, right?
Right.
There's AIs that will DM for you. Like we have an AI that will literally do the appointment setting process for you. So it looks like you're in here appointment setting and you are not in here appointment setting, and
Right.
by appointment setting, you're in here asking the questions, ensuring doing the qualifying questions to ensure that they're the right fit for you, right, in your business. But these are the things that we get to do. These are the ways we get to automate and systemize and outsource so that we can have some of our time back. Otherwise, and it's yes, there's some work up front doing the setup and things like that.
True.
But once you set it up, you can breathe like you are free. Yeah. It's just it's repeating, right? Like I'm confident Old Navy isn't out here, every day.
I love the Old Navy example because
I
it's laughable,
yeah, and it's
yet and
true.
yet there's someone in there just typing up 5 emails a day for you. Of
Just for
course
just for
not.
Ileka. Thank you.
Right,
Right. Right. But they've tagged me and they said she actually opens these emails so we can send her 5 a day. Or she checks the text more than the email. So, what I actually noticed is that over time, I get less emails from them and more text.
oh,
And it's
interesting.
because they've noticed that I actually do. I check the text, I see it, I might click on it. I might buy 10 more pairs of leggings, because they're 50% off today. And it's the only place that has long or has tall leggings.
I got you, I
Right.
got you.
Right.
Once you find that one that fits, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I may buy some more. So they text me. They're like, she's here, she's seeing the text more. And that's something that we get to look at in the system. You can see, are
Mhm.
they opening more emails? Are they opening more text? Maybe we send them less emails and send them more text.
Yeah. Yeah,
But the thing is, it's not a bunch of this anymore. And it's not a bunch of, oh my goodness, I gotta get this done. It's set up,
right. It's just
right?
happening behind the scenes now, and you
Exactly.
can focus on other things, and I love that you gave us an example for the home as well as an example for your business because both things will be creating more time, getting more time back for you for the things that matter, right? Because if vacuuming is not your jam, if that's not your happy place, right?
Right.
Automate. But
Exactly.
I would also love to talk more about what outsourcing looks like. You mentioned you have a team.
Mhm.
Like how can we outsource both in our business and
Yeah.
again at home in our personal lives?
Right. When we look at outsourcing, especially in our personal lives, um, we can instead of you because the Roomba does okay, right? It'll keep it automates enough to keep it up. But you still need some, deep cleaning, right? Now, instead of doing it every week, you might be able to do it every 2 weeks or something like that, if
Mhm,
that's you. But if you're like, you know what? I want my time back. I will say this, and this is something that I always say. I said to myself when I was 25. I said, I am not the best I'm not a professional cleaning. There are people out here who clean for a living. This is what they do, right?
mhm,
They're really good at it. Every hour that I'm spending, it might take me, and this I had a 2 bedroom or a 3 bedroom townhouse at the time. So it was like 1,300 square feet, not a whole ton.
mhm.
I was like, "This is gonna take me, um, it's gonna take me forever to clean this thing up if it's just me."
Yep.
Like, if I'm cleaning it up, it will take me, let's say, 5 hours on a Saturday. So that's my entire Saturday. And at
Right.
the time, at 25, I was making about $60,000 a year, right? No shame in it, I'm gonna tell it all. I was making about $60,000 a year. And so, therefore, an hour of my time was worth $30 work-wise, right?
Sure.
$30 an hour is about what I would have been making at $60,000 a year. So, I'm like, "Okay, so if it's gonna take me 5 hours, that's $150." I if
Mm.
I at the time, and this is almost 20 years ago, I was able to hire someone for $75 to clean my house every 2 weeks. That I'm saving $75.
Right.
I'm hanging out with my now husband, during that time, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm getting other things done. I remember I would, like, work while they'd be cleaning, or I'd be out, like, going for a walk, like, at the gym, doing things for me while they were doing that. And it
Mhm.
was perfect because here's the thing, the best time to outsource, I believe, is or you outsource for a few reasons. One, you know that somebody else can do that better than you.
Mm.
So, like, if for let's say for marketing or something like that, or even social media, since we used that before, social media. you may be okay at it, right? You may
Mhm.
be good enough to be dangerous, but you know there's someone out here who is a boss at social media, who
Right.
knows it front and back, and this is just what they do, right? They
Mhm.
have a whole agency and they're charging $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month or whatever, right? And
Mhm.
it is taking you 40 hours a week. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, close to it. It
So
feels like that, right? It feels like that's all of our time is just constantly generating content, generating
yes,
whatever, doing the posts and doing the
exactly.
everything.
So
Yep.
so you may have s you may but it really may be taking you, like, 20 hours a week to do that, because writing up all the posts, copying it and we've been told 7 posts a day. We've been like, literally, that's what the new, like, people are, algorithms and all that, the
Mhm.
folks who are, like, heavy in the algorithm are saying in order to be seen on social media, you almost have to post, like, 7 times a day, right? So if you're posting 7 times a day, that is 49 posts a week.
Mm.
That is almost 200 posts a month, right? So 196 posts a month. That is a lot of freaking posting, right? In order to create
Mm.
all of that, if you're not amazing at it, in order to do that, you were literally out here, um, working, working, working. I don't know why I'm acting like you're writing with a pencil, but you're you're working, 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 right?
I gotta write down my tweets.
Right. Well, you're constantly creating content, and it literally could be 10 to 15 hours a week where you're doing that. But
Yeah.
let's say 10, right?
Mhm.
10 hours times 4, because it's 4 hours in a month or 4 weeks in a month, that's 40 hours. 40 hours a week that you're spending on, social media. So that's Facebook, Instagram, maybe YouTube, and, whatever else. Or you could be and if you charge $100 an hour, that's $4,000 a month that you're essentially spending that you
Right.
could be doing other things. You could be working with a client, you could be building out a program, one of your programs. You could be doing writing your book, right? Or you could be paying 1,500 to $2,000 a month to a social media, management company or something that
Right.
you have vetted and, believe they can do it, and now saving 2,000 to $2,500 a month.
And it's not about I mean, they could probably bang it out real fast because that's what they're excellent at, but then again,
Exactly,
it's not about how many hours they're working, you're paying for that expertise, right? You're paying
exactly,
for, their ability to bang it out while you're not, right? So I don't care
exactly.
how long it takes you to do it,
Yeah,
and
and
then, as long
yeah,
as it's getting done.
exactly, because you're paying for their expertise and for that time back, because what's
Right.
so funny is, like, even when we think about, like, websites and stuff, right? We've all tried to do our own websites, right? We've all done it. You start your business, you're like, "Oh, I can do my website," right? I remember when I first started, my business and, like or first started my first website in, like, 2018. I went to do my website, and it literally took me 2 months, right? Because I wanted to make it pretty and fonts, and I didn't even know how to use WordPress, so I was trying to figure out how to use WordPress. Um
Right, the learning curve, right? It's
Right.
not that you can't learn this stuff, it's that it takes time and effort that may better serve you
Doing something
doing
else.
something else.
And it takes you longer to do it than someone else who this is what they do. You
Right,
know? Like, we don't have to be the expert in everything. That's okay. And it's honestly, you may not do it as nice, right? Like
right, re
so
after that 2 months, it was probably just an okay website.
no, no, no. It was not okay. It was trash. Absolute garbage.
You did not meet the okay threshold.
It wasn't even at the okay level. It was down. It was awful. Right? So I had this terrible website,
Right,
and I think one of my friends was like, "Why don't you try this Fiverr thing?" I heard about it, and so I went on Fiverr and met someone on Fiverr and talked to him about my website. He did my website. I think I might have paid, I mean, this is a while ago, so maybe like 500, $1,000. It wasn't a whole ton, right? And the website looked amazing. It
yep,
was gorgeous, and then I would, like, pay him to keep it up, keep things,
and
updated and
and it
stuff.
didn't take 2 months to get it up.
Right, oh, no, he was done. He was done in 3 days.
That's
3
right.
days it was right? And I always look at it as imagine how much revenue is missed in that 2 months. I mean,
Mm,
people could have found my website due to SEO and things like that, and, brought in more revenue for each customer that comes in, based on what I had. I mean, my prices weren't that high back then, but, let's pretend that I had something that was $200, right?
mhm.
How many customers am I missing out on in these 2 months while I'm trying to build up my website versus he got it done in 3 days, you know? If I
He got
was
it
getting
done
let's
faster,
right.
better, and the SEO was set up right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If I let's pretend I was just getting 5 customers a month with that at $200 a month. That's $1,000 a month. 2 months, that's $2,000 that I missed out on.
yeah,
He did it in 3 days. I paid him $1,000. I'd still make $1,000 from the additional 5 customers, you know? So it's like looking at the value of it, of
right.
outsourcing in that way. And I think so many people are so into, "Well, I can just do it myself." You
Mm,
know, well, I'll just do it. I don't want to pay, right? But sometimes when we decide not to pay, what happens is we create garbage. My website was trash, right? We create it's not as good, right? And it takes longer. So now it's opportunity loss and potential clients and things like that. Then
absolutely.
it's time lost. Time lost and you created, but time lost that you could be doing other things.
Yeah.
In those 2 months, I could have been building out additional programs. I could have been creating more social media, posts and YouTube videos and things like that, right?
Well, and one of the things I try to think about is, when I think about my business and, who I serve and what I'm trying to do,
Mhm,
the tasks that I should be spending the most time on are reaching more leads and better
mhm,
serving my clients,
right,
right? It's reaching more people and serving the people that are already in my sphere.
mm,
All that other stuff that is not doing those 2 things
right,
is a very good candidate for outsourcing, right? Because all that other stuff is gonna distract from
mhm, mhm,
reaching more leads
yeah,
and better serving my current clients. And so
mhm,
for me, it's I'm saying this even though I don't practice it. So right now I'm saying it out loud for myself.
yeah,
Anytime I sit down and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta figure this thing out or I gotta do this thing," and I know it's not doing one of those 2 things,
mhm,
I should very deeply be considering how I can outsource. And even some of those
yeah,
things that are, right? The social media stuff, that's about generating leads. But again,
exactly,
I'm not an expert
mhm,
at this social media stuff. So maybe I should find an expert. And
and
now I can do even more work on my curriculum, on my products and things.
mhm, yep. I mean, it's so true, right? And it gives you some time back. It gives more peace of mind as well. And it also you get to stop spinning our wheels. But I love how you talked about it being a distraction because
Yeah.
I was talking to a client recently about time spent on Canva. This person, she loves Canva. Like she's really artistic and just loves, loves, loves what she can create on Canva and all these things. And so we did a timer one day, like a timer. You can do like a timer on what apps you're spending most time on.
Sure.
And she was spending something like she spent like 18 hours for the week on Canva. And I was
Woo.
like, "So what did you create?" And she had all these pretty things that she created. And I was like, "So how is this gonna help you, bring more clients into your program?" And she's like, "Well, they this has," and I was like, "Okay, so this might help stop the scroll. Is that what you're saying? Like someone's scrolling and they're gonna say, 'Ooh, this is a pretty picture.'" Like, what are we really doing in
Right.
this in Canva
Right.
here, right? And so once she saw that what she had created, though it was beautiful, unless she was gonna create a business where she was doing Canva for other people, that wasn't what her business was.
Right.
So it didn't make sense to spend that much time in Canva.
Mm,
You know, decide, okay, I like Canva. But what it was a distraction for her. She
sure.
liked to do it. So it distracted her from doing the thing that she needed to do, which was again,
Right.
reaching more leads, right? That was what she needed to be doing.
Right. And if you do find, "Hey, I love this,"
Mhm.
okay, make that your business.
Right, exactly.
Because as you said, she could be making templates for
People.
people. She
Mhm.
could be selling things that she creates on Canva. She could be selling
Right.
digital products. But if
Mhm.
so either say, "Hey, that's not my business. That's not how I should be spending 18 hours a week," or
Exactly.
actually, I love that stuff. Maybe that should be the business.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's just looking at that. And this is all about how you get to work smarter, not harder, right? When you're thinking about what makes sense for your business, when you're thinking about outsourcing, using systems and automation, and then leaning into what you love. If this is something that you're really good at and you can do it really quickly, right? You can spit it out and there's demand for it. Maybe working smarter means leaning into something like that because if you find that your expertise and something that you are really efficient at doing, and most people is not that easy for, like I hate Canva. I'm not a Canva person. So I will gladly pay someone. Actually, I do pay someone to
Right?
create some of my stuff in Canva, right? Like
Mhm.
videos and different things for me. Some people live for that and they can knock it out so easily. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
So because of that, I outsource it, right? And then the same thing. I'm really good at sales. It's something that I love to do. I enjoy it. When I love something, I want to tell everyone about it.
Mm.
So people come to me and they're like, "Can you MC my event? Because you will really hype that thing up." And
Right.
I'm like, and that's the thing, right? It's like when you find that thing that you're really good at, you will find that you tend to work smarter in it, right,
Mm, mm.
and not harder. So,
Oh, I love that. Let's
mm,
let's end it there. That
yeah,
is in fact, can you say that again? What is it when you find the thing that you are
I'm so bad at saying something a second time. I have no clue what I said.
it was
I
okay,
think it was like
let me just make sure tell you what I heard. I think it was something like, when you find the thing that you're good at and that you enjoy doing,
mhm.
you will find that you're able to work smarter in that area.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Because it's fast and efficient for you.
Yeah.
And you find yourself you're not distracting yourself as much from it because you actually love to do it,
Mm,
you
mm,
know?
love that.
Yeah. All right. So that's today's episodes. We've been going kind of long.
I know we gotta start, reeling it in. I love it though. This was great. Thank you so much,
Mhm. Yes. All
and
right.
thank
We
you
will
all for
see.
joining us.
Yes, we will see you guys on the next episode of Getting Black Women Paid. All right. Talk to y'all soon.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. If you want to hear more episodes like this one, subscribe wherever you're listening now.
And if you loved what you heard, be sure to leave us a review. And make sure you share the podcast with incredible Black women in your life so we can continue getting Black women paid.
All right, we'll see you in the next one.